Is Tennessee relying on Dalton Knecht too much? That's the question I'll ask you, John Adams. Have they relied on Dalton Knecht too much? Once they realized he was a star, and I think that was before the Auburn game, they relied on him a lot in the Auburn game. Have they gotten to the point where they're relying on him too much?
Not at all. They relied on him in the Auburn game out of necessity. That was a really good team with really great defenders and a lot of depth. And Tennessee's overall offense would have struggled without him. They gave him the ball. Auburn didn't do anything wrong defending Dalton Knecht. It's got good defenders, good one-on-one guys, and he just kept making shots. No, I would rely on Dalton Knecht more, not less.
Caleb, what about you? Too much, too little, just right?
Just right. And we have to break down, it goes back to our previous topic. Dalton Knecht was supposed to be the scorer for this team. The spot-up sharpshooters were supposed to be Santiago Vescovi and Jordan Gainey. They haven't been spot-up sharpshooters. I mean, we're going at Santiago Vescovi, but actually Jordan Gainey has been worse from three this year, guys. He's 28.7% on the year from outside, and he was targeted as a transfer literally just to shoot the ball from three.
He scares me every time he goes into the game. So, I don't know if he's going to be red hot or ice cold. I mean, I'm just like, okay, let's roll the dice. We're at the craps table at Harrah's in Vegas.
No, that you are right about that. That's very true. I mean, and also it's worth noting that that Zakai Ziegler actually is averaging more minutes per game than Dalton Knecht right now. Now it's slight. It's like 30.8 to 30.2 or something like that. So it's like or to 30, but like still Zakai is averaging more minutes, and Dalton's usage rate, is 32.1%. That's about 10 more than anybody else on the team. But I'm with John. I think that they're relying on him just right. The whole idea of Dalton Knecht was Rick Barnes was saying, let's run the motion offense. Let's play inside out. Jonas Sadu kicking it out to Vescovi or Gainey, and Zakai Ziegler slashing to the basket. Maybe James will get hot. And if none of that is working, we'll give the ball to Dalton Knecht. And what was it Doug Collins said about Michael Jordan? Give the ball to Michael and everybody get the F out of the way. That's basically the plan if the offense falls through.
He's proven he can do that, John, but with such an experienced coach and what's supposed to be a pretty good roster, that almost seems like a lame way to win. I mean, that's not how the Bulls won, to use Caleb's analogy, that's not how the Bulls won championships.
Yes, it is.
No. I mean, he got more people involved. I really like what they're doing with Dalton Knecht. So I'm not going to say they're leaning on him too much, but I'm curious, John, as to what you think.
Well, when I talk about leaning on him, where I want you leaning on him is when down the stretch, again, going back to the Kentucky game, the last play when the game was still on the line, Dalton Knecht running the baseline fell down. So the ball had to go the other way, and it ended up in Triple J's hands. He missed an open three. I want him I would prefer Dalton Knecht to take a tightly guarded shot from three-point range. I don't care what the stats are. I would prefer him taking that shot with the game on the line than anybody else shooting it from three-point range.
Okay, how about this? Both of you guys. Dalton Knecht, well-guarded, maybe a little bit of a fade. Santiago Vescovi wide A open. I mean, so open that you wonder if the other team knows the game's going on. Who are you taking in the clutch?
Oh, there's no question.
Wide open?
Yeah. You want Vescovi shooting the ball with the game on the line? That's a goodbye game. You're gone. Get out of here. You're out of the tournament. Come on.
Caleb, we never thought we'd be saying that a month ago, especially not 6 months ago, did we?
No, I didn't think so. I thought Dalton Knecht was actually going to be more of a wing defender for Tennessee. I did not see him becoming the type of scorer that he became. But, yeah, it's...
I also didn't know that we jump all over Vescovi either. I mean, that's a wide open Vescovi 3 was going down back in the day, right?
Yes. And also, I have to point this out because we're saying, are they relying too much? Because I did just bring up those Bulls teams. Dalton Knecht's usage rate for this team right now was lower than Michael's was for all 6 Bulls championship teams. And there's this lie out there that Phil Jackson taught Michael to be
Wait, I'm not going to talk. I don't want to talk about the Bulls.
I'm just saying.
I think they're using Dalton Knecht in the perfectly right way, and that's John coming down the stretch. So, Caleb, I don't know if I've officially asked you, do you think they're using him too much?
No, that's what I was saying from the start. No, they're not. They're using him just enough. I think they're using him perfectly right now. His, again, a 32.1% usage rate is about what you have your leading scorer do. And he's right now their best 3-point shooter probably. So I don't think there's any issue. And I'm with John. I'd rather Dalton Knecht take a contested shot than I would Santiago Vescovi or Josiah-Jordan James or Jordan Gainey take an open shot. Now, maybe you could win me over with Zakai Ziegler, who's been oddly efficient from 3 this year. I think that's just a law of averages thing. But yeah, I think this team goes anyway. People keep forgetting this. The first look of this team is not Dalton Knecht. He's just the one that takes over. They look to get it to Adu first to see if he can score inside.
May I play devil's advocate for you both? And I'm going to start with John. Is that if Dalton Knecht's so darn good, why did Tennessee lose its last 2 games? And one was very lopsided against a lesser opponent. That's the case. Why didn't they say, let's clear it out and ISO Dalton and at least keep one game close and maybe win 1 of 2?
Well,
if Dalton's that good, why couldn't they get more out of him in clutch moments?
You're talking about the Mississippi State game?
Yeah, I'm going to Mississippi State game, then I'm going back to Kentucky as well.
Well, they got the ball to him. I mean, he scored 40 points against Kentucky. What?
Yeah.
Well, can you win that way is my point.
Yes.
If you're leaning on him too much, you can't. It can affect the flow of your team, which I guess does go back to the Bulls thing. I think that you can lean on a star player too much, and it affects the way everybody else plays. Am I alone in that thought process?
I don't. I mean, if the players are that weak-minded that they're affected because Dalton Knecht is taking more shots. I mean, I think he was I want to say he was 6 out of 15 from 3-point range in that game. I don't see how anybody could complain about Dalton Knecht taking more shots. It shouldn't affect the team, and I don't think it really does. I think they rely on him, but I don't think they say, oh, well, I don't have to do anything because Dalton Knecht will win the game for us. These guys, this is a really experienced team. I mean, they should be able to handle it. Hey, we got a star player. Let's use him. He's our safety net. When things go wrong, he'll pull us out. That should give the team confidence. Should take pressure off the rest of the players. I see it the other way. So, no, and oddly, in the Mississippi State game, there was a time there in the second half where Dalton Knecht was on the bench. And you can say, well, the game doesn't matter. Okay. You could say, well, let's rest Dalton Knecht or let's maybe he's not playing the kind of defense we want him to play. Let's send a message to him. None of that would make sense to me. When you're down and things are not going well, I think the one hope this team has is Dalton Knecht getting on a torrid streak, shooting-wise, like he did against Auburn. And I think that's the best chance Tennessee has of advancing in this NCAA tournament. Things aren't going well. They're getting ready to play themselves out of the tournament too early. And what do? Dalton Knecht just takes over. That's this team's chance to advance further than it ever has.
Wow, is that a good chance or is it a bad chance? Caleb, would we be having a more optimistic conversation about the Vols' chances if we were talking about how Knecht has been a nice piece and he's fit in and Vescovi's still playing well and this is a team effort? They didn't have to completely change their offense. I mean, would we be having that conversation at all, or am I being too devil's advocate-y?
way too devil's advocate-y because and no, this isn't a problem at all. And also, you address the Kentucky and Auburn games. Tennessee lost to Kentucky because Kentucky shot 15 to 29 from three, not because they didn't have enough offensive help on the other side of the ball. Kentucky just had one of those type of games where they shot 15 to 29. Tennessee took a little bit of effort off defensively because they just won the SEC regular season title. They were mentally drained. I don't really care about that game that much because of everything they had done to win the SEC. They lost to Mississippi State because they tanked. I mean, that's what happened there. They threw that game.